Hello and welcome. Sit tight. Catch Dog Concepts will be live very soon. Thank you for tuning in. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Salute to the chat. Salute to corporations K9. All y'all. Dickie Foster. Salute to you, brother. Joe, Duro, everybody. Salute. So kind of want to give a little intro on this gentleman I'm having on my show tonight. This guy's been real important to me, and what I'm doing and trying to build this. I mean, I go as far to say Catch Dog Concepts might not be here if it wasn't for him. He definitely pushed me to do something like this, just allowing me to be on his platform with the little amount of experience that I have. So let's send him in. Coach.
Love and respect. Come on, man.
For sure. How you doing?
God is good. First of all, I'm not doing too bad. A lot of work going on around here. 3 times.
Yes, sir. Gotta love it. Yeah. So I think we're gonna get right into it. So, talk about your first experience with dogs from your memory.
Oh man, I mean, first experience I would say was shit, man, was it like 4th grade? 4th grade, I was living in Hawaii, and a friend of mine's dad was into pit bulls, and that was the first time I've ever even heard of what a pit bull was, and who knows what they were doing with him. But he had a litter on the ground, and me and my partner was real close at that time. In 4th grade, we was into skateboarding and freestyle biking and stuff like that back in the day.
Okay.
And, he invited me to his house, and he had a litter of puppies, and he had this dog named Sparky. And then he had a couple males that his dad kept. And I was like, yo, what kind of dogs are those? Very intrigued by them.
Yeah.
He was like, man, they call pit bulls. They pit bulls. I was like, wow. And, I remember one was like a red nose, pied red nose, red and white. And then his son's was like brindle and like chocolate or something like that. But anyway, that was my first experience with, like dogs and being intrigued by them. And So back then is where it started for me.
Okay. So what was the first dog you owned yourself, and how was that?
Shit, man. The first dog I owned was probably at 5 years old. My parents bought me a mutt from the pound. His name was Paco, and didn't know what it was at that time, but didn't know how to handle it either at 5 years old, obviously.
Right.
But then let's say the first dog I actually officially bought myself was back in 98. I think it was 98, 97, 98. I think it was 90. No, it was 97, 97, 98. That was my first papered red-nosed pit bull I bought. His name was Angel. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what was Angel like, if you can kind of get into that?
Being that was my first actual dog that I actually had an intimate reaction, intimate type of relationship with. And what I mean by intimate, me caring about the dog, right? Really bonding with the dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got him as a puppy, got him at like 8 weeks old. And I remember just being so excited to have this dog. And not only that, being the only one of my friends at the time who had paper dogs. I spent the money. It's $350. I think that at that time.
Yeah.
And papers on. I has a level of pride. You know what I mean? Like, I got my shit's paper. You know what I mean? Because all of us we had pits. You know what I mean? My partners had Rottweilers, Dobermans. We had our dogs, but I outside of the city got mine. So I had a sense of pride with this dog. And because I cared about him and had that intimate relationship with this particular dog, I noticed how much the dog really like connected with my spirit. You know, I noticed early as a young dog, man, like, yo, this dog is matching my spirit. Like how I am, the
Yeah.
dog am. So like when I interact with other partners' dogs, because we all had dogs. That's why, because I was able to get it, had a couple of dollars, had a job at that time. I mean, getting out of high school, had a little job, working at Pepsi. I remember at that time working at Pepsi. So I was making a couple of dollars on my niggas, excuse my language.
You all good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I had a dog that I felt, like I had a little edge on my partners because we competitive, you know what I mean? But it was friendly competition. I
Right.
love all my brothers. So when they was bringing their dogs around and we all had our dogs around the same time, you know, my spirit was implemented in my puppy, and then my puppy was running, he was running all the other dogs.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna say I have a personality of running people because I don't do that, but I am a natural born leader. You know what I mean? Been that way since birth, to be real with you. Um, and my dog represented me the same way. You know what I mean? When it came to other dogs, he was doing his thing and he was over there dominating. And so that was my first experience with my pit bull. And it was so much so that I remember my dad, he was so against me getting it, but at the same time, I already got it. And then my mom, I mean, she fell in love with it at the time, so she let me have it. And my dad liked it, even though he didn't want me to have it at that time. But anyway, he became a problem because he was, they couldn't handle him when I was at work. My parents couldn't handle him when I was at work or whatever. So he used to get out and finesse his way out, pretty dog, and had the whole neighborhood running. Oh, had the neighborhood running. I mean, he wouldn't fuck with it. He wasn't bite no man bite or nothing like that. But of
Yeah.
course, people they were scared. So my dad was like, "You got to get rid of this dog." I was like, "No," but my reputation. I think at that time, about a year, man, about a year. And I was like, "Oh," I was so devastated. I had to get rid of my dog, but I was staying with my parents. So I mean, of course, I can't really, I didn't have nothing. I couldn't have no pool in my dad's house.
Right.
So hurt, but the dog had such a reputation. I had my partners, freaking big brothers and stuff, wanting the dog and stuff like that. That's before I knew what they was doing with him. You know,
Right.
but I remember my partner's brother. I told my partner what it was. Like, man, my dad make me get rid of my dog. He's like, man, my brother wants your dog. He, he had that excitement in his voice. Like, my brother been wanting your dog. That man, he want Angel. He want Angel. I was like, man, I paid $350 for him, man. My brother said he paid $350 for your dog. Like, he was serious about it. Like, he's like, really? I was like, really? He's like, I went over there and hollered at him. He was a Mexican cat too. OG, salute to him, man. But anyway, man, I told my dad making me get rid of my dog, man. I mean, shit, I paid $350 for him. He said, done. That was it. That was it. So I
Done
didn't take
deal.
it hurt me in my heart because I had to get rid of my dog and my pops. But man, I mean, I didn't lose no money. And
Right.
that's how much influence and that's how much of impact that dog had amongst people who saw him do what he do. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't no dog fighter. But at the same time, we used to compete with our dogs. At that time we would let them, like we call it, let them hit. That's how we used to call it. You know what I mean? Hit. And we would let them rustle and, get it in to the point where it was like, okay, when we seen a dog was not, able to, defend, then we would break them up because we loved our dogs. We never let them go to the point of no return. But
Right. It's
my
kind of
dog,
what your man does. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, my dog was dominating everybody's shit. Everybody's shit. When Rottweiler, Dobermans, I mean, all they shit, pit bulls, whatever. My shit was dominating everything. So yeah, so that was my first experience with my own dog. It was a great experience. Shout out to Angel, man.
Okay. Okay. So before you got to Formula One canines, you owned and you were breeding pit bulls, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So kind of get into that, kind of like what bloodlines you had and what that experience was like with the pit bull kennel.
Okay, so back in 2004, 2005, I was making some great money, and I had individuals around me who were dog men like myself. And at that time, the blue pit bull was something that was a phenomenon. And me being, I would say new to being a dog man, I'm a veteran dog man now, but
Yeah, for sure.
what a dog man was at that time, I was intrigued by a gray colored pit bull. Just like I was intrigued by getting me a red nosed pit bull based off of me at 8 years, or me in the fourth grade seeing my partner's red nosed pie, red and pied pit bull back in the day,
Yeah,
right? So when I heard that there was like gray pit bulls, that's before it was called blue, but a gray pit bull, I was like, ooh, when I seen one, I was like, ooh, that shit look pretty, you know? So
yeah,
I was hollering at one of my partners, he's from Cleveland, he a dog man too. And I was like, yo, you damn fucking gray pit bull. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's where I was like, okay, I need to get me one of those. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so I ventured out. My partner, he trusted me. And when it came to dogs, because I always had a passion for dogs, he trusted me a lot. He was like, man, he's like, coach, just go ahead and find them for us, man. Get us a male and female. You know what I'm saying? I'll pay for the female. You get the male. We're going to start our breeding program on our pit bulls. I'm like, cool, cool, cool. So I had a partner off the top. So I started doing my research. And then I came across two breeders. Came across a breeder out there in Pennsylvania, and they had that, like, it was like I think it was some old school Razor's Edge. And back in the day, I wasn't care about no bloodline.
right.
I just I was looking for a drive and color. That
Yeah,
was my whole play. Drive, because I wanted that drive that Angel had, and I wanted a blue color or be able to produce grays, because I wanted
yeah,
that color. Pit bull, right? So I
right.
t- uh, and that was back in the day where you would go on to these, different puppy websites, and pit bulls for sale. And then boom, you go to these different websites and stuff, and they would have, people posting their pit bulls for sale. So I found one out there in PA, and I got a chocolate male pit bull. He happened to have some of that old school Huntington, uh, uh, Cairo, old school shit. That
Yeah,
old
I ain't
school.
never heard of that. Yeah, that's news to me.
Yeah, that's old school. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't even care about that. I didn't care about that. I was like, hey, I like the chocolate red nose. And I was like, can he produce blue? Does his parents have drive? So the parents saw them, they was muscled up, looking nice. Okay. The breeder told me drive, they can produce blue. I was like, got it. And mine's happened to be like a Butterfinger. So I was like, cool, Butterfinger red nose, blue when you got drive. I like your parents. Let me get that. So I got him. And then I tapped into another breeder out there in Arkansas. And they had a female over there. And man, this female right here, legendary for me in my program. But anyway, I tapped into this breeder in Arkansas, and they were breeding watchdog, that heavy watchdog blood. You know what I mean? And like I said, I didn't know nothing about no bloodlines. I just was like, look, I need drive and color.
right.
And I saw all the parents. The parents looked like my old school shit. They was ripped up. They said they were hog dogs. He told me these dogs are hog dogs. We use them for hog hunting. You know what I mean? So I'm like, cool. So they got the drive, boom. So anyway, I just rolled the dice, got them. That's how I started. Boom. Got my two pairs, male and female. Me and my partner was together. We rolled the dice. That's how we started back in '05.
Okay. Okay. So, with that watchdog blood, I really love like what you have that on your yard still as of today, correct?
Yeah, I have that with a blend of. I got some. I got my other shit in there too. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
started with that watchdog blood, which that old school, let's say Razor's Edge shit, early bird Razor's Edge. If we talk about blood, and then boom, I created my own. I bred those together and started my little play. But then I added some more shit in there too.
Okay. So what is that? Can you kind of get into what the characteristics of those dogs that have that watchdog blood in it? Can you get into that and what they're like?
Okay, so when we got that female, right? So when I got my male, he was impressive. However, he wasn't like Angel. You know what I'm saying? He was just a very nice looking chocolate. pit bull. He had a nice blocky head, wasn't that big. He had a nice muscle tone, but he wasn't impressive. You know what I mean? He still was handsome. He wasn't impressive. But that female that we got, that my partner got, her name is Mimi. That bitch was, I mean, back in '98, I got a dog. My boy Angel and my cousin got a dog too. I had a cousin too. He, you know what I mean? And he wanted to get into dog game because, like I said, we was all on our dogs. So me out of town got our dogs, and he got this male from these Mexicans, man. Shout out to my Mexican brothers, man. That's where I got my dog. I got my dog from some Mexicans, and my cousin got his from some Mexicans. And hey, shout out to them. Out here in California, the Mexicans know how to make them damn dogs. So salute to my Mexican brothers. My cousin got one, a pied red. He was white and pied, red nose, and his name was he named him Prince. And he had to end up giving that dog away because that dog was like attacking him and his parents and shit. Like that dog was, but he never attacked me. But he was attacking my cousin and shit. So anyway, we had to get rid of that dog. But anyway, this dog, when we got that female Mimi, man, I was like, ooh, this bitch reminds me of that dog Prince that we got back in '98. I mean, that bitch ripped up, rears, like big ass at them hips, you know what I mean? Them big ass rears and shit. I don't know, amazing rears. She had them thick ass rears, muscled up from head to toe. You know what I mean? Just that. But then the drive on the bitch, though, the drive on her, though, the drive was just like it was to the point of no return. It was almost lethal. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And so to see a dog with that amazing look, anywhere we brought that bitch, everybody was like, yo, where did you get that bitch? Where'd you get that dog from? Oh man, we got her from Arkansas. And that's one thing that I always credited myself. I always went outside of where all my partners was getting dogs.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to say, man, coach, you know, I got that dog too. That's how I always was. You know what I mean? Right. Like I'm gonna get my dog and getting it so that when you want some of this, you gotta come to me. I always thought about that.
I feel that.
So to have that bitch and have all my partners who was so-called dog man, and I respected them with their dogs, they got some nice dogs too. But to have something to have everybody like, yo. But then, you know, my partner had it at that time. You know, my kennel partner at that time, he had her. So he wasn't really, you know, equipped to handle her. But I mean, shit, we was tearing everybody up as far as like everybody respecting what we had. Because regardless of the color, they was like, yo, I ain't never seen no bitch like that before. And that bitch was fucking public enemy #1. So that watchdog blood, at least the blood that I had, was no joke.
Yeah.
It was a liability. Let me put it that way. It was a liability, straight up.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see. So I mean, you was a pit bull guy for a while. So then let's talk about AK-47 Chopper. Let's talk about him.
The legend, living legend.
Yes, sir. So how did you run into AK?
Well, it started with a dog named Gunner, and from a breeder out there in the UK, Lions Lair Kennels. Simon is the breeder, and I remember seeing this red dog, all shredded up, muscled up, just real snipey, snappy. He always had him in like action type poses, action type. You know what I'm saying? But he had muscled up, and that's how I like my dogs. You know what I mean? Muscled up and shit. You know what I mean? So when I seen Gunner, I was like, ooh. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, he looked like a pit bull, but big. You know, like a bigger pit bull.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how he was rolling. You know what I mean? He had that whole weight. I'm like, oh, I like that. So right then and there, I followed him.
Yeah.
Boom. So then I started going to the page, and I started seeing like all his dogs was on that level. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so You see
Yeah,
him.
that's one right, man. Boy, yeah, that's some work, man.
So then that female on there that you showing, right,
Mm-hmm.
which is AK's mom,
Yeah.
I seen her too, right? And I'm
Right.
like, ooh, bitch, too, because she got the size and all that stuff. So anyway, I got my pit bull program. I already got my formula. I'm already like 3 generations into my pit bull program. Okay. I'm already
Mm-hmm.
my own shit. And I'm like, ooh, I want to make a larger version of my shit, my blood.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one thing about me that you know this already, Big Job.
Yeah.
But every time I do a breeding, I want to make better. I'm not trying to make the same. That's not how I'm
Right.
rolling my. At the time, I wanted to make a bigger version. I was very intrigued by Gunner. I saw Spade, Simon, you know, said that he was going to do a breeding between Spade and Gunner. I saw that instantly. When I seen that, I DM'd him ASAP. ASAP. As soon as he posted that possible breeding, ASAP. And I know that he get a lot of people probably doing this type of shit, but not everybody's like me, obviously. So I DM'd him ASAP, like, yo, I know you probably get all these window shoppers, these people playing. I'm not playing with you, man. I got my money right. So I want to lock in on first pick male. That's why I said first pick male. No, first pick female. I wanted a female at first, right?
Yeah.
So then he hits me back like, hey, brother, you know what I mean? Thanks for reaching out to me, but the all the females are pretty much sold. I'm like, at that time, I'm like, fuck. I'm like, what male? That first
Yeah.
pick male, second pick male, and what he said, second pick male, fourth and fifth pick male available. I said, second pick male, lock me in. Okay. So this is like right when he announces it. Okay. They're already
Yeah.
sold out. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of, like fanfare he had for his dogs. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? Me too, me included. I was a fan because I wanted
Yeah.
it. So he said, second pick male, what's your deposit? Told me the deposit, sent that shit ASAP. Okay. This is now he in the UK. I'm in the US.
Right.
Okay. But because I was so serious about my program, the money wasn't the issue for me. You know what I mean? Like I need the DNA.
Yeah.
You know about that DNA, got DNA I do. I don't be capping with that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for me to do what I need to do, I need top tier DNA. You ain't getting top tier dogs without the top tier genetics. You're not getting that. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get it. So I know that. I knew that coming in. I've been prepping myself for this. So I made sure I locked in. Okay. So that's how I locked into let's say a breeding that so-called produced a dog like AK. Now, how did I get an AK? The reason why I got an AK is because of my expertise picking out dogs, man.
That
You know
was
what I mean?
my next question. That was. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm probably the best at picking out dogs. Okay, it's a gift. I'm probably the best at making dogs and picking the right dogs. Okay, frames, brains, motors. How I
That's
pick my puppies out, I pick the AK out, frame. I go off the breeder. He tells me he got drive. I'm gonna trust you. You tell me your dog's got drive. I'm gonna trust you.
yeah.
Tell me you got smart dogs. I'm gonna trust you because I'm not around your dogs. You know what I mean? But
Right.
you're gonna stack the dogs up. I'm gonna know what frame I'm gonna want. And I told you at the time I wanted bigger dogs from my program. So I needed to have the dog that was gonna be the biggest as far as the tallest, not the heaviest looking, the fattest. I want
Yeah.
legs, longest body, and I want the structure. So when he was my turn to pick, right? I was second pick. I made him stack all the dogs that he had. And he recommended me get the black dogs. He had bigger black dogs. He had 2 black dogs that was bigger than AK. Now they wasn't bigger than AK as far as the frame, but they was just bigger as far as the overall size. Kind of
Yeah.
like more bully
Right.
type, I would say. And he was like, coach, he's like, can I give you a suggestion? I'm like, yeah. He was like, man, the black dogs is hot. These guys, they buying these black dogs up, and you got second
Yeah.
pick, and I know I can. Oh, everybody want these black dogs. He's like, you need to get a black dog because everybody want the black dogs. Like, I told him, I said, Simon, man, respect, appreciate you, man, but I already know what I want. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Brother, I respect your program and your opinion, man. But you know, I got gifts at this shit. I already know what I want.
Yeah.
Stack them dogs up.
You don't want to be like everybody neither.
I got a gift. I'm not,
Right.
not like if black dogs have my structure I wanted though, big job, then I would fuck with it if
Yeah.
it happened. But I'm stack them. I said stack them up. So we stacked them. I had 4 dogs to choose from. Stacked them, stacked them, stacked them. You know what I mean? And I saw AK, and AK long, lanky. You know what I'm saying? He had a little bit of, AK got that little bit of bow, a little bit
Yeah.
of flair.
For sure.
And he had that long ass snack, that old school pit bull look. And remember my
Yeah.
program,
That
pit bull,
horse.
I wanted to make a larger pit bull. So when I saw that bow, that long, lanky shit, and he had them hound dog ears, he had them long ass hound dog ears and shit,
Yeah.
long ass head. I'm like, that boy right there. He was like, you sure? He's like, you sure? Yeah, I want him. You know what I'm saying? And so then I get him. Had to wait 4 months. Spent 12 of them. How many of y'all gonna spend $12,000 on a dog?
Boy, yeah, you gotta let me. Yeah, I got it, man. I got to
I,
stack before I do that.
and I got him over here during COVID,
Dang.
2020. So I mean, spend a pretty penny to get him over here. But you know
Yeah,
what? Look at him though.
it was worth it,
I mean, way more than worth it, man.
man,
A legend. He's a living legend.
for sure.
So that's
Yeah,
how I came to AK, Big Jaw. You know what I mean? Like I had a vision. I saw his daddy. I saw his mama. I reached out to the breeder. I wasn't on that bullshit and all that capping and shit like most people do when they be calling up breeders and stuff about dogs. They be capping. They ain't got their money right. I have my money right. I told them shut it down. I'm not playing with you. You know what I mean? I want the DNA. I need that for my program. How much bigger dogs, bigger pit bull phenotypes if I'm not getting the DNA? So that's how I was able to, acquire an AK-47
yeah.
chopper, man.
Okay, so talk about the key factor as far as breeding to why you think he became such the phenomenal specimen that he became.
Well, first of all, it's him. The dog has to represent himself first.
Yeah.
And so when I got him and I implemented him into my yard, and
Hold on. I think you might got me confused. So I'm asking you about hybrid vigor. Basically, that's how he became. Like how he,
oh,
yeah,
so how he turned into who he is as far
yeah,
as a freak.
yeah,
Why I is who he is.
yeah.
It's off of how he was bred. Is that what you're
Mhm.
asking me? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Um. Well, yes, hybrid vigor. I'm a huge fan of hybrid vigor. Man,
Yeah,
a product of hybrid vigor because he comes from two different families of dogs, bred certain type of ways. They scatter phenotype, genotype litter, which what I mean by that is every puppy was different.
yeah,
And me, I like that. Personally, as a breeder, I love litters like that personally. Um, but him being from spade genetics and Gunner's genetics, totally opposites of the spectrum, produced this super freak of nature, which is AK. I mean, like you said, how did he become of that? Because of those two different type genetics coming together, producing vigor, hybrid vigor, they call it, and creating better than the parents, better than the grandparents, like creating a freak. That's how
yeah.
you get freak. You get freaks from hybrid vigor, by the way. And
Okay.
that's, what I mean, two different families of dogs, explosion of genetics, brand new genetics explosion, right? A hybrid version of all those genetics, and then a freak comes out. His name's
Yeah.
AK-47, aka the Bone Crusher.
Yes, sir. See, so how did you come upon that? I call it like a marketing tool. kind of just the way you talk on certain videos or certain clips? How did you come upon that?
Well, that's a good question, man. That's a very good question, man. Um, One thing about me that you're probably learning, being that we family and all that. You know what I mean? We brothers.
So,
Prince, I'm like this. Always been the tip of the spear. So around my partners, I'm the one that's making, giving everybody nicknames. We all give each other nicknames, but I'm all, my nicknames always stick. Okay,
yeah,
we all give each other nicknames. That's one thing I love about my circle. And it's a small circle. You know what I'm saying? We all kind of all play in the same. You know what I mean? We feed off each other, which is
yeah,
great. But I always like to have something a little bit different. And I know things that's catchy because when I be catching cats, when I catch cats saying the things that I be saying, I be testing things. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I started doing that on certain words, right? Then
yeah,
same thing, like, "Hey, coach, you know what I mean?" So then that stuff started ringing and dinging. So we started like laughing. So we started laughing and doing all that
yeah,
stuff. Love it. But not only that, everybody who hear it be saying the same shit. They don't even know that we be doing that shit to make each other laugh.
right,
You know what I mean? But then
yeah,
everybody around us and people who don't even know that we be playing, like we do that just to play. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because it make us laugh. But then everybody else be doing it. So like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? So back early bird, when I used to do the shadow, I used to do the shadow man back in the day.
mm-hmm,
Always wondered who I was. So I used to do the shadow man, and then back when I was shadow man, I started doing the you know what I mean, doing it, putting that
yeah,
or just a little flair, and I knew it would get either people in their feelings about it, hating, and then I knew how people would be over there fucking loving that shit too, because I know how
yeah,
we do. We love it. It make us laugh. You know what I mean?
right,
So I started. I was gonna get a reaction. That's how it. That's how. But it came about because me and my partners and all that. Everybody do the shit. Everybody around me, family members. It's just something. I mean, they say it every time they say, "Hey, coach," I mean, that's what
yeah,
we do.
yeah,
But it is. That's how it started. If that, that's how it started.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, when I first came upon your videos, I'm like, who is who is this? Why is he talking like that? Like it was intriguing though. Like you said, it was intriguing. It definitely kind of caught my eye. I'm like, it's cool, but it's throwing me off.
Right. Correct. Correct.
Yeah,
That's why I did it, because I knew that's what happened. And I'll get
right,
the hater comments. You know what I mean? And but I knew that. That's why I did it.
right. So you kind of talked about some of the qualities that AK withholds. Get into them a little bit and talk about what he's done for your yard once you implemented him into it.
Well, AK is a dog, and I've had many dogs. I have many dogs too, but AK is a dog that is very intense. So intense that I have to stay on top of him mentally to make sure that his intensity doesn't go too far. He's very driven, like tremendous drive. And I salute Simon, the breeder, because I told him what I wanted, just like I told the gentleman out there in Arkansas and the female that I bought my first breeding pit bull from out there in Pennsylvania. I
Yeah,
want drive. Really, I only asked Simon for drive. But back in those days, I wanted drive and color as far as breeding. But I told Simon I want drive and size. So he told me I can guarantee you drive.
right.
So cool. AK come. I get him around AR-15, my number one asshole. They around the same age. They was born around the same time, same age. So them two was partners. And I seen how they were competitive in their drive. And so watching AK and his speed and intensity, it was like, damn, this dog is a little bit, AK, AR is, he's fast, but not as fast as I'm talking about, like his fast twitch muscles.
Yeah,
Like,
his reflexes and his agility. Yeah,
yes, to see a dog so quick, like Bruce Lee quick. I'm like, damn. And then to see how much he loved to bite, I'm like, yo, this dog loves to bite like a piranha. And then the dog's fearless, like he's fearless. Fearless. So I'm seeing this early bird as, you know, I get him at 4 months and I'm watching with A15 and they're partners and they competing. I see them, you know, and they doing their thing and I'm seeing like, okay, damn it, you know, AR-15, you know what I mean? He dope, but AK got a little bit of edge on him, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't say an edge on him when it comes to, you know, prey drive, because AR-15 got a more prey drive than AK.
Right.
But drive overall, AK is probably the most driven dog I've ever owned. And not only that, for his size, for him to grow into his size, and I'm sure I can have him heavier, but I don't keep him heavy.
Yeah.
But for him to be his size, and the frame is his size. That's why I say I'm the best at picking dogs when it comes to frames. Like I knew it when I looked at his structure, how long, and his limbs, and his freaking long ass freaking head. Like I was like, oh, that dog gonna have my size, and he got it. You know what I'm saying? He got it. But to see him with that frame, nice thick bone, that, you know, that flare in the chest, the muscle game, the big ass head, all the shit he got. He has light on his feet like he's 35 pounds. Like the boy jumped like he's 35 pounds. But the boy's 112, lean.
Yeah.
No cap. That's lean. Heavier.
Lean.
I can have him heavier.
Right.
112 lean. But that boy jump. Y'all see him, man. That boy jump. That boy probably can jump like 50 times nonstop. Jump. That size, like, yo, to see a dog, and then his breathing, the clarity, and because I've had dogs that couldn't breathe, I'm always listening to my dog's air intake, because, you know, I'm all about high performance. So when I hear a dog can just breathe, and I hear it so clear in him, his breathing is, when you hear that from a dog, you're like, oh yeah, that dog got big lungs. Oh yeah, that boy got a big heart. Oh, big open nares, it's clear. But he's impressed me since day one, as far as performance. Yeah. He's impressed me since day one. I mean, look at the kid, man. Ain't nobody fucking with AK, man.
Boy, you said 112. I mean, that look, man.
Ain't nobody messing with the chopper. You know what I mean?
That's a dense 112 though. Like that ain't no hips or no rolls on them. That
boy's tight head, man. Look at that boy's head, man. Bone crusher. You know, so back when I was campaigning them, and, you know, I get a lot of them haters, but they was lovers and stuff, you know, talking about, oh, he a cur, and oh, my dog would do this. Like, man, please, brother, please. Yeah. But, you know, like, please, please. We don't lifestyle. But one thing about my dogs, they do adopt my spirit, and there's no cur in me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a pure individual, and my dogs embody me. And the work I put in and the confidence I put in with their natural ability, a dog like AK intimidates me. I've talked about this on my lives, you know, about AK, a dog that intimidates me. He doesn't know that I'm intimidated because I keep him in check, because I have to, right? I'm the alpha. Right. Me not capping to y'all, my brothers. I tell y'all, that's the only dog that intimidates me to the point where if he got out of hand, I wouldn't be able to handle him by myself. I can manhandle dogs. Pretty much 95% of them I can manhandle them myself. Okay. AK, I can't. I wouldn't be able to manhandle that dog.
Yeah, I mean,
that dog body, he would crush anything that he would bite. Yeah. He'll crush it. Bit you, he'll crush it. He'll crush it. Your shit will be crushed. There would not be no little flesh wound. Your bones would be shattered.
I mean, and you always say, like, he loves bones, so he working his jaw muscles out and just building his bite force even more.
The dog is intimidating, man. He's got a Malinois mouth, but with a Kangal ×2 jaw.
Yeah, man.
know.
Yeah,
So these
coach got
that
that
I
work.
dog, and like I said, I've dealt with a lot of dogs, so I'm experienced with dogs. So I see a dog like AK. I see the way he operates. I see how he performs. I see how he loves to work. I see his stamina. I see his strength. I see his endurance. I mean, I'm like, yo, I got something that's special. You know what I mean? I mean, I got something that many people wish they ever like. They wish they ever seen it in person rather than own it. I own
Right.
this dog.
Yeah.
And then what takes him to the top? What takes him to the top, Big John, is the fact that the boy produces variations of himself.
Right. So yeah, we
Like
can get into that. I had that question lined up. Let's get into the producer on the yard. I mean, how
Dr.
important
Timberland, that nigga Dr. Neptunes. Come on, man. That nigga super producer.
is that? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know. Like I see it, you know?
All you gotta do is look. I mean, shit, just show a couple of his puppies. Shit, I've been showing and telling to the world.
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
74
that put on his
all
band dog stamp. He put his stamp on anything he put his semen in is his AK. And that's produced from hybrid vigor. AK ain't no damn heavily inbred dog.
right. You are big on that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's who he is. He is just a super producer. Not many dogs who are freaks produce better than themselves.
I mean, y'all see it. I mean, this is son.
That's his. Yeah, I mean that's his band dog son. That's his youngster
Yeah.
right there. Only one
Right.
years old, and that you feel me? You're looking just like
One
his
year,
damn dad. I bred him.
1 year old.
I
God.
bred a band dog, man. That's a band dog. The band dog is a Neapolitan Mastiff, German Boxer, American Pit Bull, American Bulldog, and a Game Pit Bull. That's 4 different dogs. AK
Yeah.
is all over. Look at Nina. Shit, Nina right there. That's a band dog. I bred him with that's Chopper the Man Stopper's sister. Look just
That,
like AK.
that's
Look
AK.
just like come on, Nina right there. That's a band dog.
Yeah.
All
Yeah, that's
dogs right.
AK.
This stamp on that, man. That's he's Dr. Dre on the beats, man. Dr. Dre, man.
Facts. Facts.
So, so you know, to be who I am when it comes to these dogs, to experience all dogs, you know, be I would say probably one of the top 3 in the world. I'm gotta pat myself on the back. Top three in the world when it comes to making high performance dogs.
Yeah. I
Oh
mean,
God, I'm just gifted at making dogs. I'm gonna put myself top 3 in the world. You know what I'm saying? I know dogs. I had a passion for dogs since I was 8 years old.
yeah, I mean, there
You
ain't
know?
much you gotta say. I mean, the work shows for itself. The work,
Oh man.
work.
Hey, wait. When I show these, my class of 2025, 2026s, the youngsters coming up, wait till but I mean that's too early. I'm not gonna say too much. I'm just gonna show and tell. But you see dogs like Black Hawk and I mean, man,
Yeah, Black Hawk. So who is Black Hawk's mother and father? I mean, you got a lot of dogs, so sometimes I do get a little lost.
yeah, you can get lost in the sauce, but I make sure I label them when if you read, you read my posts, I always make sure I solidify and let you. But Black Hawk is a product of AK-47 Chopper times Holy Spirit, legendary
Yeah,
Holy Spirit, legendary Holy Spirit,
the
and that
legendary.
Holy Spirit is the replica of that dog that I bought from Arkansas, that dog Mimi,
Yeah.
that watchdog bitch that we got from Arkansas that was, head over heels, top tier, lethal weapon, liability.
Mm-hmm.
That's who was. She was a replica, looked just like her, act just like her. And back
Okay.
in media, so I wasn't taking a lot of pictures of dogs. So like their mom, Holy Spirit mom, which was Mimi's daughter. Okay, the black bitch, my bitch. And at 6 months, I brought her over to my partner's house to interact with the mama, right?
Yeah.
And I knew what I had. I knew that bitch that I had was just like the mama. And I told my partner, like, hey, I'm gonna bring her over and we're gonna see how they're gonna respond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And man, as soon as I brought him over there, it was instant, it was instant drama.
Instant smoke.
Oh, instant. At 6 months, that bitch was So I knew what I had. I knew what I had. I thought, okay, this bitch might be hotter than the mama, which she was. Okay. So that girl, her name was Buffy the Body. That's what I named her, right? That was my foundation bitch. She in the Hall of Fame, part of my top tier producing bitches, and she was the sweetest man. She was the sweetest dog, man. But she would kill any damn animal, birds, frogs, snakes. Like she was, she
Just
was
pray.
definitely a dog on lockdown because she just had a prey drive that was beyond. But she got it from her mama. It came,
Yeah.
it was strong. It came from her mama. So then Holy Spirit adopted the same shit. And that drive carries on. Shaka, same shit.
I like Shaka. That's one of my favorites on your yard, man.
Shaka, same shit. So then
Yes.
Holy Spirit and AK produce Black Hawk, produce Draker.
Yeah, that's heat. I mean, you like I said, man, you just got cooking, just been cooking for some years now.
So now my vision making them bigger type pit bulls with my blood, I made them. So now I
Yeah.
made AK. AK doesn't really have his prey drive is he can tolerate. Like I knew that when him and AR-15 grew up, and AR-15 AR-15 is a product of Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit is AR-15's mama.
Yeah.
So we know where Holy Spirit, right? She got that prey drive. AR-15 got the drive of his mama, but he got that band features of his daddy, right? Man drive, etc. But the bigger body type. But he act like his mama. So he was trying to do that to AK. He was trying to get AK to, nut up. And AK would tolerate. But when I saw AK kind of get agitated, I was like, okay, y'all can't be partners no more. So I separated them and went different ways with that.
Right.
Because I don't want AK to turn on. AK will kill. I'm sure AK would kill. If AK was really on that shit, but with his strength and his natural talent, he would, one bite with AK would probably kill anything.
Yeah.
Keep it real. Because I know his ability and his strength. Turn that on AK, if that makes sense. So, Black Hawk reminds me of like a racehorse or like a black stallion racehorse. Real confident, got the size of AK. Not as long, but he's got the legs. But he acts like his mama. Okay? So he's like a black version of AK, not as long, got the height, the drive, but I mean his drive is on that other shit. His drive is on the prey drive. So my vision to create a version of my stuff with the drive, AK did that for me. So I got bigger versions with Draker. Draker looked just like AK, but a black version female. Okay. However, she drive of her mama.
Yeah,
so I produced what I wanted. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying, I produced what I wanted with AK. He added the size, but I got everything else that I worked on 3 generations to get that drive and that intensity that I always wanted, that athleticism, the muscle and all that shit. Like I got all that. You know what I mean? And it's showing with Draco. I mean, all my shit, Draco. I mean, I got so many.
That's why I said, man, you got a lot of dogs, but all of them here and they can move. They just not looks. They can move. They can do it.
I mean, I just recently added um Malinois to my shit for those dogs that people that had want sporting dogs, and I had a couple guys buy dogs from me who wanted sporting dogs, and I didn't know if my dogs could do it, but I thought, okay, well, shit, they like to bite, they might be able to do it, and then two of the individuals who bought dogs from me, you know, the dogs that they bought from me wasn't really in tune with that sport work. You know, they weren't in tune with the biting on sleeves and shit.
Yeah.
Um, so um, I just recently added that to my program, the sporting dog type dogs. You know what I'm saying? But as far as when I always promote my dogs, maximum prey, maximum man drive. They got that.
Yeah.
Maximum prey, maximum man drive. I promote my dogs. Now I'm gonna put that sporting dog in there too when I add that Malinois into the mix. You know what I mean? So, you know, I was disappointed in my dogs because I have other dogs that I sold to other customers who they like biting sleeves and shit.
Yeah.
But sold to those sporting dog guys who want them to bite sleeves and stuff. Those dogs didn't want that. They want the real thing. They don't want the
So
sleeves.
they want some flesh.
Yes, they want the flesh.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, man, just
So I was
intense.
disappointed in that, but you know, because I really wanted my customers to get what they wanted, but you know, they ain't gonna say they ain't not gonna get on that flesh though.
Right. Yeah, because a lot of people say sport dogs aren't. I mean, they not hard or they're not that. But I mean, you get one of them Formula One sport dogs. Oh my God, you in
Well, I
trouble.
guarantee this when I decide to cook up when we were talking about when I decide to cook up that AK to that Malinois, you gonna get that. Oh,
Yeah,
you gonna get you probably the hardest biting freaking bull herder in the world.
I mean that's just agility on top of agility at the same time. Like there's nothing
Size,
really missing. It's just you're just stacking up traits.
man, size, drive, speed, smarts, man, bro. That's gonna be like. That's why I be like I told y'all, like that's kind of why I'm like low key holding back a little bit on that breeding because it's like, boy, they ain't ready for my shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Big John, like I'm too ahead. I'm way ahead of these dog men out here. And I respect and love all y'all. I
and
respect and love all.
yeah,
No, I
you
do that.
told me this last year. I don't even remember when.
Yeah,
It was last year you told me
ain't
this.
fucking with me. You know what I mean? When it comes to the DNA, y'all ain't fucking with me. Y'all ain't got a dog with y'all ain't got a dog named AK-47 Chopper, aka the Bone Crusher. Y'all ain't got that. You add AK to anything, that boy putting the sauce on it. Period.
Yeah, you struck gold, man. I mean, AK is like 101.
One of one. Man, I'm blessed by the most with him. You know what I mean? He is a one of one. There ain't nothing like him. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
Similar to none.
but guess what? His sons and his daughters is gonna be better than him.
Right, because that's what you're doing. You breeding better dogs every time.
Correct. AK gonna be him. He in the Hall of Fame, but his son's gonna be better than him, etc., etc. That's how we operate. We ain't trying to make the same. I don't need to
Right.
make me another. I need
Oh,
him better.
you cut up a little bit.
Hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't need another AK. I need better.
Right. Definitely. So I mean, AK is not your only. I mean, he like we said, he's in a league of his own. But you have other good producers. I mean, Tigress, she just showcased what she can do. Once again, for the people that don't know, I mean, Tigress is, I mean, dedicated a lot of good dogs and healthy litters to coach's program.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir. Shout out to Tigress. Tigress is an American Bulldog, performance American Bulldog.
not a regular one, not a regular one. I will say that.
That's one thing that y'all gonna know about me. None of my dogs is regular. Um, but
Facts.
performance American Bulldog, um, what they would call a hybrid, which is standard bred to a bully type American Bulldog. And um, the only reason why I purchased her is because of her daddy. saw her daddy at a dog show, and he was a bully type. And that's when I was wanting to get into American Bulldogs. And the only reason why I got into American Bulldogs is because I tapped into Buff Dogs and learned about their program. And I was always a fan of a dog named Rocky. Come to find out, he was American Bulldog. So then, boom, I'm like, oh, shit, the dog I fell in love with back in 05 was an American Bulldog. And you guys had an American Bulldog program and a band dog program, you know, and your own Bulldog type program. Okay, cool. So anyway, that's the only reason why I even got intrigued by American Bulldogs was because of Buff. So, long story short, I saw this American Bulldog. His name was TKO, and which is Tigress's daddy. And then based off of that dog that I seen in person, I'm like, oh, I like the way it looked. You know what I mean? Like I like them NFL linebacker, defensive back type dogs. That I like that look. I like size, but I want them to be athletic.
Right.
So when I see Tigress's daddy, I'm like, oh, I want a dog off him. So I went to the breeder. I was like, hey man, you know, like, hey, my name is such and such. You know, I'm into the dogs. I tapped into Buff Dogs. You know about them? Yeah, I heard about them. Yeah, I got all I got all the semen off. I mean, I got their whole program. I'm telling them all the shit. I got all their program. I'm gonna need 3 females to add to my males I got. Like, hey, you got any, you know, breedings off them coming up? And he's like, yeah, I got one coming up. It probably won't happen for another 6-7 months, whatever. But I got a female I did on a pup back deal. I don't really want her. She don't fit my type. I was like, is that his daughter? He was like, yeah, there you go. There you go, Big John. That's how you do it. So, hey, you see TKO, right?
Man,
okay.
Ronnie
So
Coleman.
I seen him in person. So
yeah, I mean, I bet it's even crazier.
Correct, exactly. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. Is that his daughter? Or, you know, that's his daughter that you got, right? He's like, yeah, but I don't really want her. I just did a pup back deal and stuff like that. I'll sell it to you. I was like, how much? He said $2,500. At the time, you know, I didn't know the bulldog market, but I didn't care because I remember I'm all about coach about the DNA.
Yeah.
So, but she was bred with a standard type. The mom was like in the shows doing protection work and stuff like that, but she wasn't. She was more of a standard.
See, I didn't know this. I mean, you just now. This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Well, that's why you got me on the interview, man. Great questions to ask you. Answer. Feel me?
Yeah.
So once I was told that, I didn't even care about the mama. He said the mama died. I didn't ask for no pictures or nothing like that. I guess the mama died giving birth. She had only like 2 puppies and shit. One of the puppies that she had was stuck in her. The dude didn't get her out in time. This is the story he told me. The mama died, whatever. But he said he got a pup back, got a female. He don't want her. Her name was Tigress. I'm like, cool. He said, I got another breeding coming up in about 6 months. I'm going to lock in. I'm like, hell yeah. So I locked in, put my deposit down on that. Told me 25. Didn't even know that was the top of the market for bulldogs, American Bulldogs. $2,500 was the top of the market for that.
Right.
So he's top money and shit. You know, he knew I was green, didn't know shit about bulldogs. Bought it anyway because I was serious. So I bought her. So then I get her, and then I eventually get my other female off of him. Her name is Big Bertha. Shout out to Big Bertha. Rest in peace, Big Bertha. But Big female that I always wanted an American Bulldog bitch. You know what I'm saying? Go in there and see if you can find Big Bertha on there. Show them Big Bertha.
Let me find Bertha.
Dog bitch, man. You know what I mean? The fucking most amazing looking American Bulldog female bitch you ever seen in your life. I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. The Most High, I thank God, man. I thank God, because when it comes to my ability to pick dogs, I mean, man, sheesh, man. I mean, I've done had some amazing dogs in my life. You know what I mean? Amazing dogs. But anyway, yeah, man, look at that bitch. Man, coach know how to pick them. Coach know how to pick them out.
That's a female.
That's a female. But anyway, that bitch had amazing drive and stuff like that. So I had her. So when I seen her, she reminded me of her daddy. So of course I'm like, okay, damn, that's the one. Tigress is more lean, like a pit bull and shit.
For sure.
Over time, you know, as I'm dealing with them, I'm favoring Big Bertha. not tigress. And I remember my dad came by, and he come by the kennels and he saw tigers. He's like, man, he's like, coach. He's I mean, my dad called me coach. He's like, coach. Dad, I like that. That's a sexy bitch right there, right? My dad's a dog man too. He's like, man, that's a sexy bitch right now. And I was like, Dad, I don't like her, man. She ain't really bully enough for me. As I told him, she ain't bully enough for me, Dad.
Yeah.
And that bitch tiger. That's a sexy bitch. Like, man, that bitch ain't bully enough for me. But anyway, Big Bertha had a lot of drive. Tigers had a lot of drive. But Tigress's drive was different than Big Bertha's drive. Big Bertha's drive was like she liked to bite the spring pole, and she loved that spring pole shit. Oh, boy, she fell in love with that shit. But the difference between the two, other than the phenotypes, was the fact that Big Bertha, she couldn't breathe good. Her breathing was
Struggling.
right.
Yeah.
Struggling, but it wasn't clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tigress's breathing was like a pit bull and shit, like AKs. See, I pay attention to all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm an engineer with. I listen to all that. I watch all of it. Pay attention to all of it. So as I'm peeping game, I'm like, okay, well, I gotta watch this because I already had dogs die of heat stroke, so I need to make sure I pay attention to her. So I only let her work for like 10 minutes, and I'm gonna do it in the middle of the day or early morning. And to make a long story short about Big Bertha, one time I let her work, did her regular 10 minutes, put her up, put her in a little, shaded area, but she never recovered as far as like cooling down. I'm like, damn, 10 minutes, you can't recover. So anyway, it took forever to try to cool her down, me and my wife. And we did everything we can do for 4 hours, and that bitch never cooled down and shit, and that bitch died of a heat stroke. So that took an L. That was an L. So only DNA I had of TKO was Tigress. So Tigress was by default my only genetic play.
Yeah.
So then when I bred her to AR-15, because I was going to make a band dog with her. No, first I bred her with Red Tiger, and then it didn't take. So I had straws. Red Tiger passed away. I had straws. Didn't take. And then the second time I bred her to AR-15, and then she produced me an amazing litter. I have a bitch called Cowgirl off of her, amazing bitch. But that litter sold out. That's my first litter that sold out ever in like 2 weeks. I had a Frenchie litter that as far as just working dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs were amazing, produced some amazing dogs, etc. So I'm like, okay, bitch. Better a second time, amazing dogs again. I got a dog named Pink Panther that I kept. Dog named Killer Will I kept. And then I got a smaller bitch. Actually, I got two. I got a bitch named Piranha, and then another bitch I named Ice, like a smaller bulldog type. Anyway, what intrigued me a lot about Tigress as I watched her develop, even though she wasn't the bully type, because I had American bulldogs that died because of their lack of ability to be able to breathe and have stamina. I started to value that more than the bully type. So when I was her try to compete with the other dogs, and I would never let that happen because I don't want yard accidents. But when I see her try to, really like be with the shits, and then I see her active in the yard, and I see her pace and do all the shit, and I see her breathe clear, and I see her stamina, I see the muscles and the striations. I'm like, ooh, this bitch might got something. She come off a TKO. This bitch is acting like a pit bull. This bitch can breathe. She got, she got the extreme features. She got a nice bone, She, bitch is muscled up through the roof. But not only that, that bitch is pretty fucking real dogs, though.
Right.
So now, the dog man, I'm learning on the job. Where I might have not even, if I wasn't hip to my genetic game, just the DNA, I wouldn't have picked no Tigress because she wasn't my type.
Right.
I would have sold her. But being that I only had her left genetically, right? TKO blood, I had to breed her. you're not a breeder, and she producing me fucking better than herself, amazing dogs. I'm like, whoa, this bitch is valuable.
Yeah.
But this is the stuff that you learn as a breeder. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't ever judge your dogs by its cover, by what you see.
Yeah.
That's produce, if that makes sense.
Definitely. Yeah, it makes sense to me for sure.
You know what I mean? Or what they can do. That bully type that I love so much, Big Bertha, I mean, she ain't no performer. I love performance over looks.
She blew up.
Blew up. What's the use of having me that bitch is blown?
Right.
Everybody like, oh, that shit look hot. Coach, that shit look hot. We get on the track, that shit blow up. What?
It's hot, but it ain't.
Versus they see me with that fucking clunker, all that shit ain't gonna do shit, and I blow the doors off everybody.
Yeah.
So you learn that. You know what I mean?
Because I like the bully type, like the Johnson type, but the standard type is more it's more useful when you're building performance dogs.
But see, what I just produced right now with Tigers and Red Tiger, I done produced that shit. You feel me? I done produced blend down.
You got the sauce.
Awesome, man. I produced a perfect blend. And our best friend when it comes to cooking is Hybrid Vigor. I did that. I did that with these.
Yeah,
I did that with these.
I mean, like I said, the work show for itself. I mean, it speaks for itself.
I did that with these. When I took Red Tiger, finally, God blessed us with that connection. I did that. Man. I put that together. Tiger, man, put that extreme Rocky Mountain Bulldoggy with Tigress. Tiger's gonna clean all that shit up, man. Put that air around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody like that extreme type. You know what I mean? I love the way Red Tiger look. That big ass head, extreme fronts, big ass extreme rears. She gonna tighten that shit all up. You know what I mean? But put that air intake in. Put that stamina. Come on, man. That's a wrap. You know what I mean? Formula One Bulldogs. That's what I produce. That's Formula One level.
Joe said the pup he saw looked good, Coach.
Say it again.
Joe said he saw a pup that looked good. He said good job on the pups.
Hey, thank you, Joe. You know what I mean? Hey, Joe, man. Not to, I'm humbly speaking, but I mean at the same time I gotta flex. Like I'm top 3 in the world when it comes to dogs, man. Joe, real shit. Top 3 in the world. Formula One.
Yes, sir. So you spoke on Rocky Mountain Bulldogs a little bit. So how important were they to your program today?
Oh my goodness. Well, like I told you, I was always a fan of buff dogs. And I'm so grateful to God that it was a timing thing for me. But then just me and my personality and just my relatability for me to be able to, really relate and befriend someone I never met and talk dogs. But then, when you talk serious, people pay attention. I'm sure people, I get this a lot being a dog man. People like to call, people like to be in my DMs and real talk. They just talking because it sounds good and they just want to talk to you. But when you talk to somebody, but you real about what you're speaking about, they pay attention. So me and, Buff Dogs, or let's say Jackie and Joe, that's their name. I was able to reach out and I was able to connect, and I was telling them about how much of a fan I was in 05 and what they did in their program. But not only that, I'm sure they've heard that before, but not only that, I told them I was on a DNA shopping spree. That means I told them I'm telling you, I got my money ready to spend. First, before we even talk this little frivolous stuff that you probably heard from every dog person that ever was a fan, I'm telling you right now, my money is ready to spend. So I'm not playing around with you. So right there, okay, now they're listening. But to hear my passion, and then I'm dealing with the wife. She deals with all the business, Jackie, but she's got me on speakerphone because I'm talking that shit.
Yeah.
I'm talking money, and then
right.
so she hear me, and then Joe hearing that passion of the Christ, that dog passion that I got. and he's resonating with it. So, you know what I mean? You know, he hearing it, whatever. So when I'm asking about dogs, I'm telling him which dog I'm a fan of. I'm telling him, okay, you know, I'm asking, hey, you got any dogs available? You got any straws? They're telling me, okay, yeah, I got 2 males. We had a whole litter of males. We don't have anything for the public, but we have too many. We only did this breeding in the house to keep our little line going. But you know, we have too many males anyway. You want it? You want 2 males? Yeah, I'll pick up. I don't care how much. I'm buying them. However, what about this? What about that? You got this, you got that. That's what I'm asking them. So then I get that. So then now I get this dog or these dogs, Brutus and Red Tiger, they call them Rocky Mountain Bulldoggies. That's their own bulldogs, right? And I remember I asked them for papers at that time. I was like, are they paper? Because, you know, at that time I still got, I told y'all about my binders of paperwork, which don't mean man as a breeder. But I got them, you know what I mean? Because I thought they meant something. So I asked them about, told me like, hey, you know, we used to do that paper, but the papers ain't worth shit. They told me that too. But I didn't care about that either. I just wanted the dogs. So anyway, I get these dogs. His name Red Tiger. I named them Red Tiger and Brutus. They're called Rocky Mountain Bulldoggies. And as soon as I showed them to the world as puppies, you know, fanfare off the top. Fanfare as puppies. Oh, man. Oh. And then they told me that was going to happen because they told me them dogs that they created, they couldn't keep them on the shelf. They had a wait list.
Yeah.
Told me what the world loved about them. They say they love their bully type. They love their fucking heads. They love the drive. But they don't have an on-off switch and they blow up. That's what she told me. They don't have an on-off switch and they blow up. But we can't keep them on the shelf because they like the look, the phenotype, the heads, all the shit. So did I. I didn't care. When she told me, I'm still buying them. Okay? So as I get these Rocky Mountain Bulldoggies, I watch them, and I'm very impressed with the drive, man. The drive on these dogs, no cap. They was not lying about that no on-off switch. Serious drive. I'm talking about to the point of no return, and that's why both of them was dead or is dead.
Yeah.
Because they do have that drive where if they're on it, they on it, man. There ain't nothing gonna stop them. There's nothing gonna stop them. They're gonna do it. But what amazed me the most about them dogs is the fact that they had that look that they was talking about. So as a consumer, I got what they told me I was going to get.
Yeah.
And so as someone who creates dogs, I know I got to cook something better. I wasn't trying to make they dogs. I'm trying to make better. Remember that? That's, you know, right. I told them that. I'm not trying to do what you do. I'm trying to add what you do to what I already have. But, you know, they gave me their whole recipe. I got all their shit. They band dogs, they bulldogs, they Rocky Mountain Bulldog. I got the American Bulldog. So I got the semen from the dog I was in love with back in 2005. I got that main thing. Then I got the latest and greatest Rocky Mountain Bulldoggies with Red Tiger and Brutus. Okay. And I got all the American Bulldog, top tier American Bulldog stuff. So I'm out. Wait, hold on. And they band dog.
Band dogs, yeah. What was the band dog formula?
Their band dog formula was Neapolitan Mastiff, sport. Mm-hmm. So the sport, I would say, could it be a Cane Corso type?
Cane de Presto. After you said that, the first time I heard you say that, man, I went crazy, like doing study, like trying to look and see about sporting neos. But I mean, it's most people nowadays call it a Cane de Presto phenotype, where it's more of a prey dog that's capable of doing, which what they did was catch work, home guardian, chasing down prey, chasing down man, doing it all basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I didn't know anything. That's what they told me they used. They said they used a Neapolitan sport, a German and American Bulldog, and they created Red Bull and they created Roman. Okay, that was their studs. But Red Bull was their main stud. That was the one that was the one they used for all their shit, as far as they band dogs, and then also they Rocky Mountain Bulldog.
Yeah.
Red Bull. So that was my foundation. That was my introduction to band dogs, was from them. Because I asked them, I said, look, my money is right. I want all the recipe. And then the OG, Joe, okay, not you, Joe, but Joe, there you go. Put that recipe up there.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Joe, old man Joe was like, he didn't want to give me Red Bull. And Red Bull is that dog right next to Red Tiger.
This one, yeah. This
Right
one
next to
here.
Red Bull, right? He didn't want to give me Red Bull because that was his pride and joy. And he only has. And I remember Jackie, because I had a great rapport. I had a great rapport with them both, but I knew Joe was just in the background. I was talking to Jackie. And Jackie told me, she texted me, she was like, don't worry, I'll get you. I'll talk to Joe. Because she knew my money, I wasn't playing. You see what I'm saying? And that, they was retired. They was like, shit, this dude gonna pay us?
Yeah.
We better get this retired. We ain't trying to do no more dogs. We retired.
Right.
This is thinking. Like, yeah, you don't want to give up your pride and joy, but at the same time, we ain't doing dogs. Sell that nigga them straws.
Right. What you gonna do with it?
So she hit me back 3 days later.
Y'all see what he said? Got both dogs' whole genetic recipe in my elite canine DNA.
I mean, come on, I ain't capping.
Coach don't shop at Lids.
You know what I mean? I got their whole recipe, but I came with the bag. I didn't come playing. Came with the bag.
Oh.
They put me ahead of the curve when it came to my program, my bulldog program. They put me ahead of the curve. My band dog, they put me ahead of the curve. They already have. Their wave is already established. So I'm ahead of the game. I'm EA Sports in the game, but I'm ahead. I ain't got to do F1s, F2s, F3s. I'm way ahead.
Right.
So all I had to do was add my pit bull to their recipe. And that's what I did. That's how AR-15 came up. That's how Nina 9mm came up. That's how Silver Bullet came up. Prima Donna. Come on, man. Sheesh. Sheesh.
Proven heat.
I mean, AR-15, Nina 9. I got the recipe. I got them. I mean, AR-15. That's what I do. You see that? Do? That's what I cook up.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man.
Looking at it, he looks like Red Bull.
I mean, come on, that's his daddy. That's his damn daddy. But he act like his damn mama though.
Yeah.
Muscle on that boy. I mean, come on, man. Hey, Silver Bullet, all them shits, man. Silver Bullet, Nina 9. I mean, Prima Donna, all them dogs is top tier looking dogs, man. Every one. And they really about what they supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? And I ain't gotta do anything extra. Look at Silver Bullet. Now, look at that. That's a female. That's a bitch. That come from Coke. That's the 9, man. That bitch will bite you. Bit me too. That bitch will bite you. I ain't got to do no agitation work. I ain't got to do no extra credit shit. That bitch will bite you. Look at that bitch. Look at that shit, man. Frames, brains, and motors. Man. Top three in the world, Big Ja. Coach is talking his shit on your show. Okay?
Yes, sir. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Y'all hear the passion.
Come on, man. When it comes to high performance working dogs, top 3 in the world, dog.
Yes, sir.
Proven.
Hold on. I gotta show this. I just saw this little reel. I think this Nina. I mean, this show was just to give you your flowers. I mean, because you've been a big part of what I got going on.
Donna. That's Prima Donna.
Oh, that's Prima Donna? Man.
Look how sexy that bitch is, man. Stop playing with me. That's my shit. Look at that bitch.
Almost jumped out the kennel.
I'll bite you too. That bitch bite you too. Look at all my shit. Come on,
Man.
man. Hey, that's Drake.
Yeah, that's
That's
yeah,
that's AK times Holy Spirit.
man.
Look at that bitch. Stop
Look like a
playing with me.
monster. That look like a
Come on, that's
monster, bro.
looking like a male.
I mean, just work.
I mean, come on, look at hey, look at Silver Bullet. Stop, man. Top 3 in the world. Top 3 in the world. I make dogs. That's why I tell cats, man. I make dogs. I make my own dogs. That's a gift.
You
I got a
don't got to
gift.
dip in nobody's yard.
Come on, man. I got a gift from God. I make dogs.
There go Nina right here. I mean,
Yeah, that's neat. Hey, that bitch right there, I'm gonna take her to AK. Those dogs, I'm gonna take AK to his daughter, his band dog daughter, Nina 9. That bitch right there, that man, that she's so smart. She's so athletic. She can jump any fence. That bitch will jump any fence. I'm talking about, I don't care how tall it is. That bitch will run up a fence and jump that bitch. I don't care how tall it is. That bitch will jump it. That bitch will run up it, climb up, and jump it. You know, back in the day, I do my pack experiments with all my dogs because I want them to understand.
You answer my questions. Go ahead with it, brother.
Okay, so I do a pack experiment with all my dogs I keep. I do a pack experiment. I know they have prey drive. I want them to comprehend that it's a family, even though I know by nature they're going to have conflicts and they're probably going to compete to the point of no return. I know this, but I do this as puppies. So Nina, who has maximum prey and man drive, is a product of Nina 9, my band dog bitch, and AK. And I had her in a three like dog pack. I had an AR-15 band dog, and I had a AK-47 XL Pitbull Draco, and her AK-74 band dog. Now they get along, but one thing about my pack dynamic experiments is I want them to reconcile. I don't want them to take their conflicts to the point where they're trying to kill each other. I don't want that. And I'm early. So when they have conflict, they normally only have them when I'm around because they compete for my energy. So when they compete for my energy, I can correct it. And normally I do. I correct it, they stop. Okay. They understand, okay. And when I do it when they're young, because the damage they do to each other is not as vicious as if they were older. Right. So Nina, she's not rah-rah. She doesn't do no barking, none of that shit. And I love that. She reminds me of her grandmother, which is the silent assassin Buffy, that pitbull bitch I was telling you about.
Yeah.
So anyway, she reminds me of her. She doesn't do no barking, none of that extra. She's none of that. She's very sweet. But anyway, one day I come down and I see my AR-15 band dog bitch, cowgirl. She's over there in the corner, and I see her bloody. I'm like, oh man, I already knew what happened. Like, oh man, something happened, right? So I go down there, and luckily, I'm thankful for the God that it did. They stopped. Okay, so, but my girl was pretty messed up, and I look at who else is messed up, and I look at Nina, and of course, she got some nicks and shit on her too, right? I'm like, oh bitch, it's you. But then I go and I do all my doctoring and stuff and clean everybody up. And like I said, I only do this when they're younger because, when they're younger, the damage is less. But I'm doing this to teach them. And obviously they reconcile, but they did some damage to each other. Okay.
Right.
So I go in, cleaning my girl up. And I'm like looking at my girl like in her chest area. And I'm like, man, this bitch done bit a hole in her damn chest. So, like I said, I got my own shit. I know how to, I'm a dog man. I know how to do all my shit. Antibiotics, clean them up, stitch them up, staple them up. We're good. Boom. So anyway, it wasn't to the point where, it was like, oh, detrimental, but it was like, oh shit, this bitch. But it came from that bitch Nina. So then
Right.
from there, I had to always watch them, and then they always have funk from that point on, right? So now I had to say, okay, Nina, you can't be in a pack no more. So I had to separate her. Now she's in her own pack. So then when I put her in her own space, she figured out how to jump and climb out the 10 by 10.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then I put her in a 6-foot spot, and then she climbs out of that.
Right. Man.
So anyway, shout out my bitch Nina. I love that bitch. That bitch is that she got a lot of potential. She's so sweet, man. But that dog is really about all the action, everything. She about everything. And remember, I put maximum prey, maximum man drive in my dogs, and they show me that. They show me it all the time. All the time, they show me.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I don't even know what to say. Like it really ain't much else to say.
Top 3 in the world, man. On your show, top 3 in the world. Top, I'm like of high performance work dogs. They got top 3 in the world.
Yeah.
Top 3
On my show.
on, I put it on. I gotta do this on your show, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on your, you know, let Coach talk his shit, because Coach,
Right.
at the end of the day, I ain't the dog. I'm the dog guy. That's why I put on the dog guy, aka the coach. Like, I got a gift. It's a gift.
That you do.
Something I was 8 years old, Big Ja. This is something that I had since I was 8. I was gonna make my own dogs. It was a vision that God gave me at 8 years old. And then to be able to produce these type of dogs that come from my right
Up
here,
there. Yeah.
to be able to acquire top tier genetics, to talk to breeders and get the, you know what I mean, like to talk to them and, you know, and tell them like, yo, I ain't here to play with you. I'm here to spend money, but I need the best shit. But I
Yeah.
already know what I'm already knowing what I'm looking for though.
It's
So
a
you ain't gotta
blessing.
walk in, just be honest with me and tell me what I'm getting. I'll do the rest.
Right.
But I'm here to play with you. You know what I'm saying? You got what I need. You know, I'll spend with you, and that's how I was able to acquire dogs. There would be no I would never have a dog like AK if I didn't go there and holler at my man Simon and, you know, tell him I wasn't playing around with him and I was ready to spend my money. There was no way. There would be no way I would have an AK.
Yeah.
I have the best gunner son in the world. There's no other son of gunner that is better than AK. None.
You talking that talk, man. You
I
talking
mean,
that
sure,
talk.
you
It's
actually
facts.
got Greg. We got Greg. Shout out to Greg. He produced gunner. Greg know it. Shout out my brother Greg out there. Crack Kennels. He produced gunner. He know I got the best. He reached out to me. Greg reached out to me when I bought that dog. He DM me like, yo, like, bro, like you, yeah, I've been trying to get them dogs from over there overseas. He been trying to get us some dogs over there from him. That was their deal. He couldn't even get them from Simon. Simon wouldn't pass him over. But I'm the only one in the U.S. with that hybrid DNA. But then it comes out to be AK, the freak.
It's a
The
blessing.
freak. I mean, God, you know what I'm saying? Big job. God is good.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. Grateful.
All the time. So I had a question before, but I mean we kind of got into the band dogs, which is totally fine. But in today's age and time, what is band dog? What does the term band dog mean to you?
Oh man. Well, in today's time, man, I would say for me, a mastiff hybrid that can guard. This is today's time for me. I
Right. I
know the
mean,
devil.
yeah.
A mastiff hybrid that can guard, that can do everything a catch dog can do. Bigger, stronger, and faster. That has prey drive and man drive. That's what a band dog is to me
Yeah,
today.
that's a great definition. I mean, That's what I see it as today. But I can also see it as some people, as you say, just freestyling.
And you know what? Okay, we always talk about the pioneer dog man, right?
Yeah.
I'm the Elon Musk of dog man shit. What I mean, I'm on my scientist shit, right?
Right.
They can't. They say that. Damn, how did Elon Musk produce a rocket that can land itself? Well, he's got a vision and he put it in reality. So, other dog man, if you want to freestyle some shit, okay. However, if you want it to mathematically make sense, you got to put some method to your freestyle, right?
Facts.
Can't be no gotta sound like no cat in the hat shit. That's
Yeah.
basic shit. No cat style. That's like, oh nigga, you know, I mean, we better be like, you know, like, damn, that's off the dome. Damn, we thought we just wrote that. That's how it should. However, you know, I mean, a lot of dog men ain't really good at freestyle.
No.
So I'm not freestyling all. You better be good at freestyling if you're gonna freestyle. I don't freestyle shit. We taking notes.
Right.
We take notes, Big John.
That's the best way to do it. I mean, in this here, I mean, I go back and look at stuff, and what I think sounds right is I write it down, or I note it, and it's there for when I'm ready to do what I'm ready to do.
That's the only way to get. That's the only way you're gonna get out of your program. You got to have a plan of action, and it has to make sense. And then also you got to do additions, subtractions, divisions, multiplications. You got to do mathematics genetically.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, if you're a gift like I am, but then you put in the work and more work 3 times, you're gonna get even. You know, come on.
It's gonna multiply. I mean, it's
All right,
gonna do what it's do. Yeah.
talent, but I put in the work too. I do
Right.
the experiment. I do the trial and errors. I make the mistakes. You know, that's the only way I can get to a level I'm at. That's the only way I can have dogs away, because I've made mistakes. I've tried things that didn't work. I've tried things that did work. I tried things that I thought was like, oh, whatever. And then all of a sudden produce me some of the best shit.
Right.
Then I write them down. Okay, well, don't do that. Or yeah, do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to do it, I feel like. And then I always have these videos to go back and look at too. That was another reason why I really thought this was a great idea to do something like this.
I'm here for you, man.
For
You know
sure.
that.
I appreciate that. You know, I saw. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I'm just saying that's why I'm talking my shit on your show.
Yeah. Man, I saw this woman. She was like, it was somebody they bred some type of like shepherd, but like the massive type shepherd to giant schnauzer because she said it wasn't big enough. But it did the like the giant schnauzer does what it does. I don't like some people just throw things together without doing uh the proper looking into it, the proper research, the proper time to understand. I mean, if you want it bigger, go ahead and cross, but 9 times out of 10, people aren't going to look into what comes with that crossing. I mean, because there's good and bad that comes with it. You might get what you want, you might not.
Correct.
So that's what I want to always make sure I know what I'm doing, or I know
But
what I'm adding.
what I like. Try it.
Yeah.
Keep all the puppies out. Don't always.
Yeah, you always say that. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
So if you want to try some shit and you want to get into your mad scientist bag, try it. That's what I'm saying. Try it though.
Right.
Keep all the analyze what you try so you can get a real assessment of what you produce. If it produced something that your vision said that you saw, then elaborate on that and make that better. If
Yeah.
it didn't, then scrap it. Remember, I told you about my nephew with the damn French bulldog band dog.
Yeah, yeah, that was crazy. I mean, that was a not crazy in a bad way, but just the thought of it. I mean,
Right. I
that's it.
wouldn't do me. I do it, but I told him, nephew, you do it. I didn't
Yeah,
say, nephew, oh, that's stupid. Oh, I just said, nephew, I wouldn't do it. But imagine if he created some crazy ass top tier level band dog with a Frenchie and a
right.
Mastiff out of the cook, and they
That'd be
produced them
crazy.
just like what? And he said, "Hey, Unc, that was a Frenchie and a Mastiff cross." Like I'm like, what the?
Yeah, and you'll never know with these crosses that you do, and I mean, only God knows, like you said.
We are as the Most High God, and that's why I say it's like I don't want to hinder people's creative uh, abilities and gifts when it comes to dog breed of dogs. We call this so. For us to get the breeds that we love today, somebody had an idea of mixing dogs, and I'm sure that other people that thought about those mixes thought they were like crazy. Like, why would you do that? You're crazy. Don't do that. That's stupid. And then they produced the breed that we love today. So I don't ever want to hinder anybody's vision. I just want them to really think of it like a scientist does.
Right.
You know,
Like or like putting a car together. I mean, that's your best or your favorite, I say, analogy when it comes to dogs and performance as well as mixing.
yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like I said, I want to promote creativity. But gotta like do the math on the shit. And then if you want to take it out, if you want to take it left field, then make sure you bring it back. You know what I'm saying? If it's gonna go left field, make sure you bring it back right.
Yeah.
Do that. I can respect that. If you just going left field and you freestyling, like I said, that shit sound like cat in the hat. You know, I'm gonna let you do what the hell you want. I'm gonna let you. That's your choice, your prerogative. But if it come back on some bullshit, I'm gonna show you your math too. I'm gonna show you. Look, when you freestyle that shit, the math that I'm showing you on that freestyle was some bullshit, right?
Right.
Can't get mad at me. I'm showing you your work.
Yeah.
Now, if you freestyle some shit, you blew my mind, and you produce some real shit, I got a solution. Like, yo, you a dope ass freestyler, man. I didn't think it was gonna crack.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you did that. Salute
Right.
to you.
Yeah.
That's these dogs. You know what I mean? That's how. If we want to, especially if we doing performance, man. Y'all, you know how much I love hybrid vigor.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how you
I
get,
mean,
man. Hybrid vigor. You ain't gonna get no. You need hybrid vigor to get better dogs. You need that, especially for performance.
facts.
And I see it all. You know what I'm saying? I don't do too many too tight breedings. As a matter of fact, I don't do any tight breedings. I did an inbreeding with Shaka and his sister, but they were both outcross dogs.
Right.
It wasn't tight bred to begin with. So I wasn't going to run into no problems because there wasn't no too tight blood I was bringing into. I was just tightening up just to compound my genetics at that time. You know what I mean? But I knew my shit wasn't super tight to begin with.
Right.
Hey,
I think I'm gonna have you on for a show for hybrid vigor as well as like just breeding. You know.
okay.
Yeah, I think we should put that in load that in the chamber.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you about that. I'll talk to you about that at some point.
For sure. You know what I mean? Like that right there is a this dog man's secret weapon. His
Yeah.
vigor, man.
Right. So I got a couple more questions. I ain't gonna keep you too much longer. It's a little late over here. But
But
so what age do you think it is proper to start testing, and how do you test once you get to that age where you think it's all right?
I don't take dogs until in fact, I don't work my dogs until about a year old. First thing I do with my that first year is build relationships. I build relationships. I build bonds. I do basic obedience. I do puppy imprinting,
Yeah.
but I don't because I don't want to hinder my dog's development. I don't want to destroy their joints. I don't want to break their mental. I
Right.
want my dog thing that I tell her to do. I want my dog to look at me as I'm God. I'm the dog God. That's what I
Yeah.
want. But yeah, is I gotta build a relationship. So it's a lot of discipline that first year. Letting my dogs know that I'm daddy and I'm the alpha. And you're gonna mimic me, not me mimic you.
Right.
However, process, we're gonna build a bond. And then not only that, because I have a pack of dogs, the other dogs teach them how to really be dogs. I don't teach them how to be a dog. I just teach them to obey me as the pack leader and love me and respect me. But the dogs teach each other. They do all that shit themselves. Because I have a yard full of dogs.
Okay.
So as far as goes, it's not until that year that I really start putting any type of testing. And what my testing is, like I said, my specialty is two things: breeding dogs and conditioning dogs. I don't teach my dogs how to bite. I know my dogs will bite the shit out you. I
Right.
already know it. I gotta teach them to hold no bite. I ain't gotta teach them how. I know that if AK put his mouth on you, your bone, your arm and your leg, whatever, your face is getting crushed. The bones in your face, if he bites it, it's crushed. If
Yeah.
he puts his skull, he's crushing your skull. I don't have to go and like, oh, I don't have to. However, I love conditioning my dogs. That's why they look the way they look. Genetics and work. Work.
Yes, sir.
So
Well,
I love kids for my pack, and I want them to want to work and be conditioned and do what I need to do as far as my workouts and stuff like that. Other than that, I'm not into the bike work and all that type of stuff. And
yeah.
like that, I don't get into all that. Me personally, I don't.
Right. So, I mean, of course, obviously, what I've showed on your Instagram, your dogs are well conditioned. So how do you keep them so conditioned well? And what are some issues maintaining that physique throughout the year with the weather temperatures as well as either the dogs going through pregnancies or heats?
Um, okay, so conditioning wise, the things that I do conditioning wise, first of all, I feed my dogs a certain type of way. I do kibble. I do them portions, scoops,
Yeah.
cups, and um, I don't overfeed my dogs. I live on a mountain or a hill, life on the hill with a thrill. So I got weight pull harnesses. I have, I got all kind of shit. But what I mainly do is I like to do my running up the hill and down the hill. I got an ATV called the Prowler. That's my horse. And then I got gas hill I live on. And I run my dogs up the hill, down the hill, 3 times up, 3 times down. And I also, you know, let them run around the yard. I do the weight pool with tires. That's what I do. You know what I mean? I like to work conditioning. That's my 3 times up, 3 times down the hill. You know what I mean? I like to keep my dogs conditioned that way. And then to build the strength and the muscle and shit like that, I build a tire, put the tires, put the weight pull harness, and I let them pull that shit around my training facility. And that keeps them nice to keep the muscle tone, you know what I mean, thicken up. Because I don't want my dogs bulky.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like my dogs being like a sprinter. And that's how you see them, right? Tight and right. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them bulky no bodybuilder. You know what I mean? But I want them tight and right.
You don't want all that. You want that functional muscle.
Yes, I want that work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why and that's why I said the hill. So I learned by default, the hill. When we had that dog Mimi, that watchdog bitch,
Mm-hmm.
my pops lived in the Oakland Hills, lived in Oakland, California. And he lived in the Oakland Hills. Had a dope ass house in the Oakland Hills, but it was a steep ass hill in his backyard. And there's deer that used to run back there. And that dog, Mimi, had so much prey drive that anytime the deer run back there, that dog run up that hill, chase that fence up and down the hill. And I remember going to his house and seeing this bitch, and I'm like, yo, how is this bitch fucking shredded and big like that? He said, oh, coach, all she do is run up that hill all day chasing them deer. I'm like, oh shit. So I live on a big ass hill, big ass mountain.
Yeah.
So guess what I do with my dogs? 3 times up, 3 times down my big ass hill. And that's why
Right.
them dogs.
That's funny. That I mean, yeah, like I said, I mean, you telling me some stuff that I heard for the first time. That's
Yeah,
what I said.
yeah.
I'm glad I had you on, man.
I ain't know my dog no virgin when it comes to dogs, man. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So the boy
Yeah.
really a sports game. You know, I'm a veteran when it comes to these dogs. You know, I really have some knowledge because I'm actually EA Sports in the game. I really do this shit. I'm a player coach. I always tell y'all, I'm actually doing what I'm telling y'all. So it's not like I'm
Yeah.
just telling y'all what I heard. No, I'm doing this stuff that I'm telling y'all, and I'm getting results.
Right. Well, I think that's it for me. I mean, it was a great show. I appreciate you coming on, Coach. I mean, like I said, this was kind of give you your flowers and just show my
Thank
appreciation for you, man, because you really inspired me to do something that I'm doing now and to keep going. You always tell me keep going. So, like I said, I appreciate you for that, man. If y'all got
you.
any
That's all.
questions, drop them. All love for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
But I'll go
yeah.
through Dylan or Dylan. I can't, man. You gotta tell me your name so I can't because I keep saying Dylan or Dylan. But can he asked a question. He said, "Can I breed my 17-month-old APBT male?" He says the bitch is a 3-year-old bull and terrier type dog. Will her age benefit the litter?
Will her age benefit the litter? Can you? I don't really understand that one.
Yeah. So he said he said, can he breed his 17-month-old pit bull male to a female that's 3 years old? I mean, I think you might be asking if the male is kind of young still, or and will it? But he said her. Yeah, I'm not sure. Dylan, you got to kind of uh come back to us and say it in a different way or specify.
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna have to like, yeah, exactly. I'll
Yeah,
answer it. Make it make sense so I can answer it correctly.
right. Yeah, I don't really see too many questions. I mean, that's what I said. It's fine by me. I'm tired.
Y'all
uh,
ain't got. It's all good.
yeah, but yeah, that's it. So, like I said, man, I appreciate you. We definitely have to have you back on. This was a great show.
No, it's all love, man. I'm here to support you. I'm proud of you. Keep on keeping on, keep doing your interviews. I'm thankful to be on your platform, and thank you for allowing me to talk my shit.
For sure,
Feel
man.
you feel me? Talk my shit on your show. It's only
Yeah,
it's only to really talk my shit on, but I wanted to do that on here because I got a lot of respect for you and a love for you. I'm proud of you again, and I'm here to encourage you, man, to keep on keeping on, brother. You know you got something good. You know what I mean?
appreciate that. Yeah, man. So we're gonna call it. Appreciate you again, Coach. See y'all next week. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out.
Yes, sir.